Well, there comes a time in one man's life, or woe man's life, where you have to change your own oil. Today, we're going to do that in our new to us 6.7 Power Stroke F250. So we've had this truck for almost a year now, and I want to do a I don't know, just like a maintenance series for Power Stroke owners. I've had plenty of diesels, but this is the first like modern diesel with all the emission stuff. So, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of people buying these trucks, and I thought it'd be a good idea to, you know, make some kind of maintenance series about that. If you want to know how to do real basic maintenance on your Ford with a 6.7, equipped with a 6.7 Power Stroke diesel, maybe subscribe or follow along or whatever. So, okay, let's get what we need to get and crawl under the truck and start draining oil. All right, so I'm going to assume that you've changed your own oil before, but maybe you haven't. So anyways, step one, always, before you do anything, pop the hood. You know what you're doing there, pal? Okay. And then where the hell is the oil fill cap? The oil fill cap's around here. This thing is so gargantuan. Listen, if you're short like me, I'm like 5'8" with boots on or whatever, you're going to need to get some kind of step stool, milk crate, something. Okay, so we got our little bench guy thing. So it gives us about 2 feet here. And whoa, man, this thing gives off some heat. It is amazing they can keep this thing cool. Look at all this stuff under here. Can't even work on this thing. It's insane. Okay, so this is what we're after. This cap right here. And you just unscrew it like, I don't know, half turn or something, and that pops off. So then I'm going to take this and just put it where I'm not going to forget it. Okay, hood is popped. That's open. Now we can evacuate oil. The only reason I say that is when I was in college, I had an old clapped 92 Civic, and I went to change oil. I put it up on my dad's lift, and I didn't even think about anything but dumping the oil, you know? And so I took out the drain plug, oil's draining and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to pop the hood. Well, I went to pop the hood, and the little cable that goes from the under the dash to the mechanism that undoes the, you know, that pops the hood, that fell off for some reason. And I actually had to cut that mechanism, or that piece of metal there. I ended up having to cut that on my Civic in order to get the hood up, and then I had to re-weld it. So don't do that. Somebody got close here. What was she thinking? Okay, so we're going to use our cool spreadsheet here. So this is what I put in: Rotella, how many quarts it takes, approximate gallon. Put a note here, always check the gasket, removing the oil filter. Okay, so we need a 16 millimeter wrench or socket to get that off. So let's grab that. Okay, so I chucked down a nice big piece of cardboard just because it's more convenient that way. But here's the thing, and it's kind of weird that they designed the oil pan this way, but I guess it is what it is. It keeps things out of the way, I guess, if you're off-roading or something. But so there is the drain plug right there. You can see it right there. So when you take that off, oil is going to want to just come flying out of this thing. So be prepared for that. So I'm going to set up our oil pan something like that, because it's just going to want to fly out of here. And then you're probably going to want to be ready to move your oil pan. So let's get set up a little bit. I broke the bolt loose with a 1/2-inch drive, 16 mil. And then I got a open end box wrench here, just kind of to finish it. All right, and I'm going to be ready because I think this is going to fly out of here. So you kind of got to keep an eye on it, and then get ready to bring your pan back to catch your other drippies. you can see the arc on that baby. Ooh. All right, so we're just gonna let this drain. Okay, looks like we're down to little drippy doos. So let's check to make sure our little rubber gasket is in place, and it is, so that's nice. We don't have to worry about putting a crush washer on. And let's get that started. Oops. So not crazy, but tight enough where you don't have to worry about the thing flying out on its own. All right, now I'm gonna push my drain pan a little. Man, this oil is burning hot. Woo! Okay, push this over here. And I got a big pair of channel locks for this. I use these on most of my equipment. They come in pretty handy. All right, that feels loose-ish. Can you guys see okay? Yeah, when did I do the oil at? 18,000 miles. Since I bought this thing used, it looked like it only had one oil change on it, or maybe it was two, I forget. But I'm a big believer in changing oil sooner than later. The computer is at 50% or 52%. I'm changing it. I'm not waiting to 10% or 0%. The way I look at it is engine oil is pretty cheap, and a replacement engine is not. So I'm gonna change the oil a lot more frequently. And some people say, "Oh, oil change intervals. You can go longer. Send it to Blackstone Labs or whoever those guys are. They'll analyze your oil." And dude, you can say what you want to say. I don't care if I'm throwing my money away. I like to change my oil frequently, and my stuff lasts a long time. So, you know, now that I thought about it, you want to get a separate drain pan for this, and I'll tell you why. This filter is going to be heavy when you take it down, and it's just going to splash in here and make a humongous mess. So I am going to get a different pan. Okay, got a separate pan, a little blackie here. And now we can take this off and hopefully not make a humongy mess. Filter's not as big as a 7.3 filter, but it's still pretty good size. So let this drip a little bit. And then a lot of people put their filters on, they fill them with oil. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. I know with this filter, there's kind of this weird lip on it, and I feel like if you fill it, you're just going to get oil everywhere. So I put the filters on dry. I do that on a lot of my equipment, and believe me when I tell you, when you start something, the oil filter fills instantaneously with oil, and you don't have to worry about anything. So we're going to slap a genuine Motorcraft oil filter on here in a second. So we'll just let this drain a bit. Okay, so a little bit of a mess, not terrible. And I'm going to let that drip while we get our brand new oil filter, and I'm going to write the date on it as well. And then we'll slap that sucker in there. I got my oil filter. I wrote the mileage and the date on it. And I also slathered a little bit of fresh oil on the gasket. And then I like to peek my head around the where the old filter was, and I wipe it down with a rag, and I also check to make sure the gasket's not stuck on it, because guess what was? the gasket. It was stuck on it. I just saw it fall. So I'm cleaning that real quick, and then I'm gonna slap the new filter in. And then no Gorilla stuff here. We're just gonna hand tighten it. That's it, done. Yeah, check this out. Look what fell off. The gasket. So evidently it did not come with the filter, and you do not want to spin on another oil filter when there is another gasket in place as well, because it's not going to seal, and you're going to start up this truck and it is going to make the biggest mess you've ever seen in your entire life. So always check that. Make sure you got the old gasket off. So, okay, let's go topside and start dumping oil. Okay, let's talk about oil. Not sponsored by Shell. I just like the stuff. I've used it for many, many years. It's always been good to me. So, T6, I use it in most of my equipment, and I figured let's give it a try in the truck. So, you can use 540 in this. It's okay. At least that's what they say in the manual. And I've talked to a buddy of mine that works on these trucks for a living, and he says that he uses the same oil. So I'm good with this. I might try the Ford oil or the Motorcraft oil once I use all this stuff up, so we'll see. But yeah, 2.5 gallons, so that's 10 quarts. And then the engine takes 13, so I have a tiny bit left here, so we're going to measure that, and then I'll use some of this to get our 3 quarts. So 10, and then 3 I'll make out of these will give us 13. And then I like to use these kind of graduated things to fill your oil with, so we'll use that. And then this is a super cool tool. This, if you look, threads into the valve cover, and you get a nice funnel that you're not going to have any sloppy leaks from. I forget, I got this on Amazon. I forgot the cost. It's like 20-25 bucks. Well worth it. So I'll make sure to put a link in the description for that. So it goes right in. You can kind of feel it. And then that's it. It is secured. Pour in the first gallon. I'm not going to bore you with this, so we'll come back when we're done. I'm telling you, I would not want to fill this thing full of oil without this. Absolutely not. So you definitely want that. Okay, all 13 quarts are in. Now it's just a matter of taking this thing out. And then I got a rag ready that I'm gonna put it on here. That way we don't get these sloppers. Put our cap on. Okay. And now we fire it up. Should be good. Okay, lock. Oh, it's okay, Coke. Maybe it won't let me start it with the hood up. Okay, let's try again. Perfection. Any leaks? Nope, doesn't look like it. What do you think, Coke? All set? Okay, you want to check it out, make sure it's good? Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead, is it okay? Jump in there. How's it sound? Oh, you want to go for a little rip, do you? Okay. Alright, well, that's how to do a oil change in a 6.7 Power Stroke in a nutshell. Pretty easy. Don't have to jack the thing up. You can crawl under there pretty easily. And yeah, save yourself some big money by doing it yourself. Most importantly, you know it's done right. So, okay, stay tuned for other stuff regarding this type of platform. If you like what you saw here, maybe check out some of my other stuff, or you could subscribe to. Definitely look at some of the cool tools I use. They really come in handy, especially that funnel thing that threads in. You do not want to fill this thing without one of those. You'll make a humongous mess. So, Okay, Coco and I appreciate you watching. Looks like she's making herself comfortable. And all right, we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.